Slacktail Squad, assemble.
Wow, you've got a coaster there. No, I'm sorry, a cozy.
It's a koozie, not a cozy.
Okay, koozie.
I think I would be remiss if I didn't say, I've been listening to the other podcasts and I forgot that people don't know that we're podcasting outside. So when they're hearing the sounds of nature, maybe they're confused or maybe they think that it's an artifact or sound in the background. But
it's real.
It's actually that we're outside podcasting surrounded by nature.
Yeah. Well, that's why you hate, as you said, fucking squirrels.
That is why I hate squirrels, but maybe people thought I was just looking outside. But you can hear the wind, the trees, the leaves falling. You can hear the waterfall. All those wonderful things. Occasionally you will hear the bastard squirrel shake its fist. Fuck you, squirrels, if you're listening.
And because of, since he's carrying on his own conversation, because you like the way I reacted, I decided not to get any sleep today so I could be just primed.
So you could be Dickhead Ronz.
There we go.
Dickhead Ronz, how about maybe you move the mic a little bit closer to your fucking face? It's a new thing.
So you want me to put this long black cylinder thing in my
That's
face?
That's what you've always
That's what
wanted.
you want to do.
Whoa,
That's what you've always wanted.
He didn't bring it up yet. He brought it up. You just brought it up.
Now, you know what? I'm willing to take the blunt of everything he
He's
throws at
willing
me.
to take the big black thing.
He's willing to take the blunt.
The blunt.
The brunt of it all.
I think you said blunt.
I did. I did.
Ronz wants you to pass the blunt.
I don't smoke. However, I'm willing to take the abuse, but I will get sleep next time, and I will be more refreshed and let
One
you.
would have hoped that you got sleep this time. Why didn't you get any sleep?
Oh, I told you. Jeez, weren't you listening?
No.
No, you weren't.
No, I wasn't. I listened to so very little of what you say.
I know you do. It was my wife's birthday. Happy birthday to her, by the way.
Well, it's already passed, so nobody cares.
It's already passed.
Yeah, no one cares. We
I
already
do.
said happy birthday to her.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, we said happy
anyway.
birthday. And she's not an athlete.
No, she's not an athlete, but it does make
She
her a
is if
super
she
athlete.
wants to be one.
I agree.
No.
Yeah, she
no,
is.
we don't have to live by your philosophy of athleticism.
I think we should. But anyway,
then everybody's an athlete then.
I think so. I think, if anything, decided to run around town because she had to work and I had to work.
Oh, because you ran around town, now you're an athlete.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. So I took her to all the places she likes, and I've got one more stop for us tonight. Right.
I'm pretty sure that Amy and whatever her sister's name on 1,000 Pound Sisters, they're athletes too, in their own way.
Oh my God!
They're
You watched that show?
Competitive eating athletes.
Oh, I
have watched it. Yes, it's terrible.
No. That is.
It's terrible.
That
it's cringy.
show,
Is it giving you cringy?
Yes, it is.
Ooh,
it's like
something. You're not scared of anything. Are you scared to have dinner with her?
No, I'm not. But when you two are in the medical field, but when you get to that obesity level, it's fucking unhealthy.
No way.
It's unhealthy way
when you get to 99.6% fat, it's unhealthy, but 98% it's okay.
Way before that, it's actually unhealthy. So.
Well, there are conditions why that happens, but I can't
really
what?
That severe of obesity. There's conditions where it happens.
Like what?
There was a talk show a long time ago, and I watched it.
Oh, reputable. He got information from a talk show.
Jerry Springer.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait. Hold on a second. Just hold on a second. This is the Slaptail Squad, and I'm the Beaveman, master of the universe. And if you're listening, you're a member of the great Slaptail Nation, and probably really listening to hear me.
And you're about to get schooled by Ronz.
And you're about to get schooled by Ronz. He's about to hit us with some science.
Science.
Hit us with some science, Ronz. Please, hit us with some science that you learned on a talk show.
From a reputable talk show.
From a reputable talk show.
What was the talk show, Ronz?
And actually, from a real-life situation. No, a real-life situation. I have two people I will reference.
Okay, let's hear it.
But the first one was...
If you could just get to it.
I will. Hold on.
Don't cut him off.
Yeah, don't.
Let him talk. Jeez.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Ron.
So anyway...
Tell us your story,
If you could
Ron.
just get to
it. Like, because this... it was a gentleman that was in an accident, and it was an accident, and it rewired his brain because of brain injury, and he
couldn't stop eating.
No, that's exactly right. He couldn't. So he didn't have any control over what he would eat. Right? Basically, he ate himself till he was obese.
Was he eating shit?
I guess so.
No, I mean, was he literally?
Do you hear that?
Like
That's
shit?
your squirrel. I just heard it.
Yeah. shaking his little fat fist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds like a little fucking
Do you
monkey.
hear it?
Yeah, I do. Wow.
Asshole.
Yeah,
He
because
wants to be on
they
the
do
podcast.
that. They do that the entire time that I'm hunting too.
I know.
Whenever I go out there and hunt, they sit there and shake their little fucking furry fists at me, and I'm like, "You motherfucker!" I
You
should
know
shoot
why?
you,
Because
motherfucker."
you're invading their area.
Fuck them. It's my area.
Do they pay the mortgage?
Yeah. Do they?
No.
Well,
Did you hear it?
I did.
Little
I did.
bastard.
I did.
Okay, so he ate himself to...
Okay, but
Basically
that's,
obesity.
but that's an extreme case. So
However,
you're saying
hold
that
on.
happens continuously with everybody throughout?
Not with everybody, but the two cases I know of, brain injury has occurred, and their wiring shut off. Like one person was addicted to sugar so much that their spouse had to hide all the candy, right? And this is through a traumatic head injury. Mm-hmm. And the other person suffered a stroke, I think, at 22. And this person is extremely obese. And whenever I would go over to their mother's house, because they're good friends of ours, the young person, I'll call them, was always had a soda, always eating something sugary. So a stroke or a brain injury brings that to light.
So, but somebody still has to buy it for them, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say you're wrong.
I mean, you don't.
if
you don't have to
can't
buy
get
that.
up to get out of the bed to get to the refrigerator, someone
I
is
agree.
enabling your problem.
I agree, but as an adult, if you don't want supervision, you don't have to have it, right? I can't stop the Beaveman from being mean to you just because I want it. He's going to do it. Now, he probably won't do it in front of me, but the minute I turn my back...
he will.
Yeah, I know that. But the minute I turn my back, he'll come after you like, you are just an idiot. You're not an athlete. And I'm like, you are an athlete. You are an athlete. You're an athleticism is
Okay.
prowess.
The fact that the swan is an idiot has little to do with the fact that she's
I never
not
said she was an
athlete. No, I
idiot.
think that's what you said, didn't you?
No.
I feel like he just said that.
No, that's what
He
you
said
feel.
you're an idiot.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
I think I can play that back. I'm pretty sure that he said you're an
So,
idiot.
No, I would
Anyway.
never say that.
back to
Anyway.
Tammy and Amy.
But yeah, I don't know who they are, but
Can you be? Is that if you're a vampire? Is that a cool vampire name? I'm Tammy the vampire.
Tammy the vampire? Maybe.
I
Can
guess
you
so.
be a Can you be a vampire, an effective vampire, if your name is Riley?
I think
Probably
so.
not.
Yeah, I
No.
don't think so.
Could you be a vampire if you were 1,000 pounds?
Yeah.
You would be a
That'd be
very
a-
slow vampire.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, I mean, maybe you, but I mean, you're already faster than humans as a vampire, so maybe you were slightly faster than a human, even as a 600-pound vampire.
And they turn into an obese wolf, or
Why are you
fox or
bringing wolves
bats.
into this?
Because that's one of the.
He's correlating vampires and werewolves. 'cause
Which would
they
you rather?
always
Which would
come
you rather
together.
be? By the way, which would you rather be? We're coming up on Halloween, so
Yeah.
which one would you rather be, vampire or wolf?
Ooh.
If you had your druthers.
I don't
Werewolf.
know, a werewolf, yeah, that'd be
Okay,
cool.
why?
Okay.
Why would you rather be a werewolf, Ronz?
Well, vampires can't come out during the day,
Trueness.
and the wolf thing, you're only a werewolf like during full moons, so that's even better, right? So once a month, you get to release the pent up aggression, and you go back to being normal. Sort of like PMS.
Probably not.
Interesting that you would like to share about your PMS.
Yeah.
Would you like to share your vast knowledge about the menstrual
Pre-morphing
cycle?
syndrome, whereas you start to turn into a werewolf halfway through.
Pre-morphing syndrome. Okay, that's good. Good cover. Good cover, Ron. Good
Thank
cover.
you, thank
And
you.
why would you rather be a wolf, swan?
I mean, I think they're cooler because why would you want to drink blood?
That was your whole
Yeah.
argument. Wow, impressive.
I mean, if
see
I
you've-
was gonna be,
I
if
see
I was
you've
gonna be
thought-
a
I see you've put a lot
vampire,
of thought
I'd be a
into it.
skanky vampire.
A skanky vampire. What do you
Yeah.
mean? Sort of like the.
Why don't you just be a skanky human?
Well, hold on.
No,
on.
I don't
Hold
wanna
on.
be
I'm
skanky
working
human.
for you here, B.
no, you're not, because
Would you like
He
to
wants,
Would
he
you have
wants
a?
me to describe it so his sick fucking fantasy can come true.
No, I'm thinking of the Beatman here because it's like
Uh-uh.
he's got the devil woman motif he would like to see you in, and vampires are associated with devils, and I kind of like thinking if you go that way, he might lean towards you being a vampire. So what would you be a skanky
I mean,
vampire in?
I'm pretty sure he would not care if I was a skanky werewolf either.
Well, describe
I
that
don't really
to
want.
him.
I don't really want you to be hairy. No,
No, a hairless werewolf.
a hairless werewolf.
I mean, I don't really, like Ron said, I don't want to not only be able to come out at night. That would be
Yeah, that would
terrible.
suck. But if you were if you were the original vampire, they came out during the day too,
Yeah.
according to the Blade
Like
trilogy.
Blade, yeah.
Or
yeah.
or if you were a hybrid like Blade, that would be badass.
It would be.
And then you just go around killing vampires. That'd be sweet.
Yeah, that I guess I could lean either way.
But I didn't give that
I could
as
go
an
both
option.
ways.
But
I could go
didn't give
both
that-
ways.
I didn't give that as an option.
Vampire.
But if that was the option, if the option was to be like Blade, I'd totally take that.
I would take that over it. But I think werewolves are cooler than vampires. I don't know.
How so?
I don't know. They just seem cooler.
I think so too. I think werewolves are pretty freaking badass.
Yeah, and you can be normal, like you said, so many months.
I think it'd
or
be cool though if you could
So many
change.
months out of the
so many-
year.
Yeah, so
No,
many-
I
so
think
many
it'd be
days
cool
out
if
of
you
the
could
month.
control it.
Yeah.
Like if you're like, yeah, I'm just gonna morph right now. Boom, werewolf time. Or if you do like the half
Like
morph
Twilight,
where you've got
you get pissed
yeah.
off and you turn into a werewolf.
or not. They
Or
didn't.
you
You didn't
can-
have to get pissed off to turn
Or
into
if
a
you
werewolf.
needed to defend
Team
somebody,
Jacob,
you
by the
could.
way. I'm team. Which one are you, Ronz?
What are you talking
Team
about?
Edward or Team,
Team Edward or
Jacob?
Team Jacob?
Oh, you're talking about the Twilight?
We
Yes.
are.
Yeah.
Oh, hell no. No
What are
way.
you?
I'm neither.
What do you mean you're
Where
neither?
are you? You're neither?
I never watched that entire series through the end. I mean, I've seen bits and pieces of it.
Okay, so from what you saw, were you Team Jacob or Team Edward?
I don't know the characters.
Edward or
Okay,
Jacob?
Edward,
Werewolf
yeah, Edward
or
is-
vampire?
I would be
Edward's the
a
vampire.
werewolf. I've already
Okay, so you're
stated
Team
that.
Jacob.
I'd be totally Team Jacob. Jacob's
Jacob's
way
Okay, so
hotter
I don't
than
know the characters, so I
Edward.
couldn't tell you who was what.
Wavy little vampire that glows in the dark.
He's gonna be a
and
cool Batman,
Sprinkles
though.
and
He's gonna be a
sparkles.
good He's gonna be a good Batman.
Or
Did you
hot,
know-
I'm
ripped
confident that-
werewolf.
Did you notice that they left a line out when he goes, "Who are you?" and he goes, "I am Batman." They left that out. He goes, "I am vengeance," and that makes it that much more darker.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
The trailer for the Batman.
Okay, I haven't seen it recently.
You haven't
Last
seen the
time-
trailer?
Not the recent one. No. Is there a new one out? Because I
No,
only seen
but when
one.
he goes against the gangs, and they go, "Who are you?" and it's usually when Michael Keaton or Val Kilmer or Christian Bale said, "I'm the Batman" or "I'm Batman."
Mm-hmm.
He goes, in this series, he goes, "I'm vengeance."
Well, it's a different universe.
Yeah, and it's a darker universe. So it looks to be
Anyway.
awesome. Anyway,
I'm going with werewolf also.
why?
Well, I think it would be cool to if we don't have the Blade option, I got to go with werewolf
Okay.
because I want to be out during the day, and I think it would be more fun to hunt as a wolf than as a vampire. And you just eat people. You don't have to just go for the blood. You can just eat. Like you're not dependent
Well,
on
werewolves
sucking
really
blood.
don't eat people. They usually
No, I mean
yeah.
eat in general. I mean, like I
Okay.
could go hunting. I could snag a deer. You know, that would
Oh.
be fun.
Yeah, Twilight vampires, they don't even eat. They're cold. Why would
Yeah,
you
it's
want to be
lame.
fucking cold and dead?
Pale looking,
Pale.
pasty.
Sparkly in the sun.
Yeah, that's
Like,
just the
that's
worst.
Just
I mean,
awful.
That's just awful. Sparkly
Okay,
in the sun.
fantastic.
I mean, if you go by vampire from the Twilight series, I mean that's just fucking.
Because they can go out in the sunlight.
But you know, a
they
good thing
sparkle.
funny thing about the Twilight series
Please
is
enlighten
that
me.
is that the baby swan cried at a bunch of them when Bella was gonna choose Jacob over Edward and shit.
She broke up with him.
It was
Yeah,
hilarious.
pretty
It was
much.
hilarious.
Now here's a fact, right?
I don't know.
Why-
Is it?
No, no,
Is
yeah,
it,
it-
Ron?
it's a fact.
If it's a fact, you
It's
don't
a
have to
fact.
say right after. You can just.
It's
you
a
can
fact, but you're going to question me on that, so I'm going to say right. But it's a fact. How do vampires survive in a full moon?
What do you mean?
Well, isn't the full moon a direct reflection of sunlight? So therefore, the
Ron's
vampires...
is getting all sciencey.
Yeah,
Is, it,
all
is that
sciencey.
science? Is it
That is
sciencey?
freaking science. So shouldn't the vampire be non-existent during a full moon?
Sure.
How do you
I'm
know
gonna
that
say
they come
sure.
out during the full moon?
Every movie, right? Even in Twilight, I guess they would, right?
I don't know.
But werewolves, you know, a full moon, right? That means, I mean, and if you really want to think about it, if you're reading a book and there's a full moon, would you turn into a werewolf? So,
If you're reading a book,
and there's a picture of a full moon.
No, I don't think it works like
that's how
that.
it works.
So,
I
okay,
don't think that's how it works, Ronz, but you know.
okay, no, fantastic. So, but the
Speaking
thing
of
is-
silly, stupid shit that people say.
Oh, okay. Now we're gonna move on.
We're
Okay,
gonna
I see.
segue in with
Segue
that.
in, yes.
So, I don't know if you know this, Ronz,
I probably don't.
but one of my friends, one of my best friends in the whole world, passed away this week.
My condolences.
Thank you. And I've noticed this over the years. Military people tend to put this, and other people too, but specifically military people tend to post this. And I'm a little bit perplexed as to why they post this sort of thing. But and they'll say something like "Till Valhalla." Have you ever seen that when people die who are in the military? They'll say that, like "Till Valhalla, my friend," or whatever. Have you ever seen that?
I don't think I have. But...
No, it's a very common thing.
Okay.
From the people that I've been around, and I had to like kind of pull that apart a little bit when I think about it. I'm like, why do we say that? Because one, it's for some reason some military people try to what do you say, not familiar with this, or align themselves with the Vikings. Like that's a big thing. Like Vikings are like ultimate warriors or something like that.
I would say more of a warrior's death.
Okay, but that's warrior's death, but Valhalla, that's Viking. All
Okay.
Norse is Viking, so that's a Norse thing. Is so whether you're talking about Norway, whatever, all those
Minnesota,
Scott, whatever, wherever the Vikings come from. So that's all
You're done.
Greenland,
I got you.
all those things. So they align themselves with this Viking thought process, like, oh, Vikings, warriors, whatever. I've never understood that from that perspective because Vikings are known for attacking unarmed monks. That's kind of their thing all along the British coastline. I'm like, so are they the greatest warriors of all time? It's kind of like everybody always says that the samurai there's this big debate that the samurai were the greatest warriors of all time. Another thing that I disagree with, but
of
whatever.
course.
So I don't understand why people are always so fascinated. Military people seem to have this fascination, some of them do, with Vikings. I'm like, Vikings were not badasses, honestly, if you want to get right down to it. But whatever. If they would have gone against a real enemy with the same amount of forces, they would have got their asses handed to them. But I digress. The point is, I don't understand why people say "Till Valhalla." I understand it's a cutesy little thing. But in Valhalla, so this is the legend, right? If you're a warrior and you die a warrior's death, you get to go to Valhalla if that's your religion. If you're a Norse, you subscribe to the Norse mythology, you get to go to Valhalla, okay? So in Valhalla, you fight every day against the other warriors, and you have a feast and you drink or whatever, and I don't know if you die or whatever, and you're sitting there waiting around until Ragnarok because you're hanging out with Odin. And Ragnarok is the end of time. So you've already died. Now you're in Valhalla, and you fight every day in your, quote, heaven, and then you're waiting around for Ragnarok, and in Ragnarok, you lose. That is the whole prediction, right?
I have no idea.
The
but
gods,
believe you.
Odin and the gods and his warriors fight the giants and the monsters like the Midgard serpent, and they lose. So you go to quote heaven, and then you lose. So why would you say to people when they pass away? And I don't care if you do; it's your thing. It's just my opinion. Why would you say "Till Valhalla"? I don't know.
Let's clarify a couple of things here. One, to the victor gets to write history. So whether if your army was victorious, whatever you believe in, that's the way everybody's going to see that. That's the way the victor is going to write history. So when the samurai, as you mentioned, won the battles, they got to write their history. When the Vikings won their battle, whether it was against unarmed monks or whoever, they got to write their history.
They didn't really write much.
They didn't.
They just passed it down by word of mouth.
But that in oral history, but still they got to pass on their way of thinking. So you would say that. So whether the battle was bloody, victorious, or non-skirmish, they still won. So they got to pass it down to the way it was. So Valhalla, in this case, was where they would like to wind up. That's where all your brothers and sisters go.
So they can fight again and then lose?
Well,
who told that part of the story? Where did that story come
that's
from?
an interesting part. And honestly, I don't know. But to the victor gets to write the history, so they got to tell it the way they wanted it to.
So wait here so we can fight every day and then die in the end.
Well, as the Beaveman said, there's a feast going on. I mean, why not have some raw deer as a werewolf and enjoy your time there, right? And who says they're not having, it's like, I've got a sword. Well, I've got an axe. Tell me what you would do against me with that. And they would fight it out, and then they would have, then they would, wow, that squirrel is fucking loud, isn't he?
Well, I said, again, don't understand it because I grew up liking Norse mythology, so I like mythology. So Norse mythology was my favorite, but I remember reading other versions of saying that the warriors fought and died every day also. So I don't know if that's the true legend or not, but still, again, you're going to heaven or Valhalla, and you fight all day, and then you get reborn every day, and you have a feast, and you fight, and you're in anticipation of someday fighting in Ragnarok, at which time you lose.
So what if you lose? Maybe that's the end game. Maybe that's peace. Finally, you don't longer have to fight.
No, it's not the end game, because what happens is this is the problem, because they didn't write their stories down. It's all word of mouth stuff, so there's different versions. And in the end, after Ragnarok, is the actual true birth, the rebirth, and that's when Baldur comes back, and which is again the nod to the rebirth of Jesus and everything like that.
Okay.
So,
okay.
and then Baldur comes back and creates the first man and woman, even though there was already men and women. So, yeah. So my point being, why would you want to go to Valhalla? I don't understand that. I understand that people think it's cool to say till Valhalla, whatever.
Maybe they don't even know the end.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't know that story.
They probably don't. They just think it's something cool to
yeah.
say. But I still don't. If you said, what warrior would you want to be like, throughout history? If you couldn't say now, because the baddest warriors of all time are now.
Of course, the Beaveman, duh.
I'm not a warrior now. I'm talking about in general. If you want to talk about what are the toughest warriors of all time? It's right now. There's the samurai could not stand against a trained fighter right now. He could kill him away from 2 kilometers away.
That's 2 clicks for the listeners.
Because our technology is better and better.
So
and better.
you know what though?
Our firepower is better. We don't fight you don't fight hand to hand.
You're putting technology versus then, and I agree with you. But if you took your technology away, could you stand toe to toe with the old ways? Now I know you could. You were trained in hand to hand. Maybe I could.
Yeah, but you don't get down to hand to hand. That's the point. Even the samurai didn't go down to hand. There was an order of what weapons you use incrementally.
Understood, but if you took away that technology, could you...
You do know the gun has been around since 1200, right?
No, the weapon has, but this is my gun, and that's for fun. This is my weapon. Okay,
Oh, boy.
okay. No, I understand.
So what I'm saying is, you know how many centuries you would have to go back? The samurai used guns.
Yeah, they did.
Okay, so what technology are you taking away? I mean, if you go back even further than that, they were still using arrows, lances. It's not like you went out there and you fought hand to hand without your sword and your lance and your spear and your naginata and all that other stuff. So there was a progression down. Whereas we don't have that. What's our progression down? Okay, well, I've got my gun, and then I got my other gun, and if it gets down to it, then I've got my bayonet, but it's not going to get down to that. So the baddest warriors are now. So if you're going to identify with a warrior now, that's the one I would identify with.
I understand where you're coming from. And as a warrior would say, it's a code of war. It's a code among brethren when you really think about it. Whether it's a saying you agree with or you don't, it's an acknowledgement that I valued you as a person. As a warrior, I valued you. And beyond the joking around, there's that somber moment where some of us remember our what we would call a modern day battle buddy or our friends from the military. And that's a somber moment when they pass away. And we never want them to pass away bad. Natural causes are one thing, but we never want them to pass away in pain. And to acknowledge that till Valhalla means, kind of says, I'll remember you until we meet again, my friend. Right? And that's exactly what it can mean. And in some cases, this is what it does mean to a lot of us. Unfortunately. And somber moment over.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, so your point is it's just something to say.
Yeah.
No, it's something that you remember your friend by. Right?
No, that's not... But you just said it was just something to say.
In some cases, it can be.
He likes to contradict himself.
I'm so confused about what he just said. Now he's saying it's not something to say.
He talks in circles.
So why would somebody say it exactly?
To remember the good times, to remember the fallen, the forgotten. Right?
Okay.
Did you want me to say something more here?
No, because I understand that people have the right to say it. I'm just saying for me personally.
I'll agree with you.
And
what
I'm
you're
just saying.
I'll agree with what you're saying.
Wait a minute. So you don't want me to. So you just asked me to clarify. I started to clarify, and then you're interrupting me.
No. I'll agree with what you're saying. Some people just say it. But to others, they remember their fallen brethren.
Okay, so as I was saying that I don't care if people say it. I was just wondering if people actually think about what it actually means to say that. It's just another thing where people are like, I've heard people say this in casual conversation at a workplace, saying snafu and foobar, but not knowing what it actually meant. I'm like, you do know what that actually is, what that stands for, right? And people are like, oh, no, it just means when something doesn't go right.
I know what
I'm like,
foobar
yeah,
means.
but you know that it actually has words associated with it.
I know what that means.
I forgot what snafu means.
Situation normal, all fucked up.
Okay.
And then you tell people what it means, and they're like, oh, I didn't know that's what it meant. I'm like, yeah, that's what it means.
So foobar, I understand.
What's foobar?
Fucked up beyond all recognition.
Yeah. But again, I've heard people use that in casual conversation in a place of business, and I'm like, do you know what that actually stands for? Oh, no, it just means something isn't right.
Well,
Like, yeah, but it stands, the abbreviation means something has actual words associated with it.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So Valhalla is what you ever... I guess it really goes down to is what you think of it. Really, what you make of it. You know, whether the contextual meaning of it to you.
Yeah. It doesn't, I'm just saying, it doesn't, it's not something that I would say because know what Norse mythology is, so I'm like, well, I don't see the point of that, but I can understand why people would say it. Obviously, clearly, I just read into it too much.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is. Kind of like the people that get, they get Japanese words tattooed on them and they're not Japanese.
And it means
like,
soup.
Yeah.
Or private.
Or put penis here.
Yes? Yeah?
That's the one Ronz runs.
No, it's not.
It is too.
Why do you say that? Why do you say something like that when... You are just an instigator, aren't you, Sloan?
I know. Yeah, pretty much.
But anyway, so if I die, Ronz, by the way, just so you know my
take
final
notes.
wishes.
Take
notes.
Okay,
my
take
final
notes.
wishes.
Don't say till Valhalla.
No, he can. I'm just saying
he
that
wants to.
I
If
clearly
you
I
feel
read
like
into
it.
I read into it too much. I'm just saying that
That's your right to do it, though. I mean, you have more of a sentimental value to your past than I do, and if that's what you want me to say, I will say it. I have a sentimental attached to.
I was talking,
you.
but I was trying to make a point. But
He's sentimentally attached to
He
you.
just started going on and on.
It's
kind of like it's kind of like high school mascots. See, I just read into stuff too much. Like the daughter, her high school mascot is a colt. I'm like, well, how lame is that? Your high school mascot is a baby horse. How badass is that when you go against the Tigers? And it's the Tigers against the Colts.
It's not a Colt 45.
No,
Okay.
it's a horse.
It's a baby horse.
I just think it's funny when they call.
Why do they call them the fools?
I think it's funny when they call them the lady colts.
Oh, I fucking
Like,
hate that. I'm like, why aren't they
ooh.
just Colts?
Or like, there's another team that they play, the Bucks, and they're like, they call them the Lady Bucks. How can you be a lady buck?
Yeah.
Like, that's
Give
not.
him a dollar.
Well, I guess that the buck has the option to identify however it likes.
I would agree.
Or you could start
Beaveman.
calling them the transgender bucks.
Yeah, the lady bucks makes no sense.
The lady bucks.
It
I'm
clearly
like,
does
yeah,
not.
that's really stupid.
Yeah.
Okay.
But again, so
And
why do
patronizing.
you identify with certain things?
Anyways,
I just obviously I clearly read into it too much. But anyway, as I was saying, when I die, Ronz, keep this in mind. Do not let the swan do the following. Do not let her spend money on a coffin. Do not let her bury me. And do not let her keep my ashes.
All right. So you
Should she actually burn me as I wish.
So you want a funeral pyre?
What am I, a fucking Viking?
Well,
Maybe.
you say, "Do not keep my ashes," which indicates you will be cremated.
Right.
So, how do you want to be cremated?
Only do a funeral pyre. Okay, let's say this. Only do a funeral pyre for me if one of two things happens. If I have a full set of European armor to be burned in, or if you get me a full-on replica of Darth Vader's outfit and put me in that and then burn me, like in Return of the Jedi.
We could do that, and then on top of that, just to make
not like a Halloween costume.
No.
Darth Vader.
Then
Like,
what we could
real
also
Darth.
do is stuff his costume with popcorn and fireworks. Everybody's gonna have a good time then.
That'd be gross. No, thank you.
I don't know. The
He just
fireworks.
wants to stuff my crotch with popcorn.
He does. He probably
No.
does.
No. Okay, that...
I'm going to stuff his costume. Okay, well, take your penis out of his ass because you don't
He's
have to
gonna
stuff his
undress you.
asshole.
He's
You
gonna
don't have to stuff
undress
his-
you
You don't need to
first.
stuff his
I
asshole.
don't know about that because somehow you said enter the rear of the Beaver Lodge. And, I'm not saying anything into it, but you're the one that wanted me to come.
Yeah, I didn't say enter the rear of the Beaver. I said the Beaver Lodge.
Yeah.
You're the one who said enter the rear of the Beaver because you're fucking...
You're right. So what would the lodge mean? That's up to you. Once again, till Valhalla.
So Ronz calls his ass the lodge now.
Whoever replied gross, though, I thought that was so cool.
That was me. Whoever, you're just texting on your own personal one. You're not texting on the group one.
I thought that...
He doesn't know how texting
Clearly,
works.
he doesn't
clearly.
understand how texting
No, I
works.
do, but usually it's like, it's the swan that says that.
Yeah,
oh,
but
that's
don't
gross.
you know when you look at the text thread what group you're replying to? I mean, it's
I-
on your
He's just
phone,
replied to
Ronz.
his
No,
boss.
first of all, I give my phone to my wife.
What does
And
that have to do with anything?
I'll get to it.
Oh,
So
please get to it. How
Would
you
you-
can't
would
take
you
care
let
of
me
it.
get to
Yeah,
that?
she's your guardian, isn't she?
So it's like I show her what I'm going to text. She's like, "Do you think this is going to piss off the Beaveman?" She goes, "Yeah, you should do that." And I hit send. So I thought the swan got a hold of your phone and said, "Gross."
Why would
No,
the
he just
swan
made that
get a
up.
hold of my phone?
I don't know. That's up to you.
I don't even know the password on his phone.
Oh well.
So
Hey,
Clearly, Ron doesn't know the password on his phone either. It's just Carrie's thumbprint.
why wouldn't it be?
Ugh, you just make me feel so gross.
Well, and that's the other thing. I have
are you one of those couples that has a shared email account?
No, we have
Like-
but she knows all my passwords and everything, so I have nothing to hide.
Like the shared Facebook page?
No,
Ugh, I hate those kind of people.
no. She has her own Facebook page. I have my own.
Do you have a uterus, Ron?
Yes, and I use hers every chance I get. Hey,
Oh, why do you use
How
the
would you
uterus?
use her uterus?
Oh my God! You know what?
Up and down.
I knew the
I don't
minute
understand.
Yeah,
So,
never mind.
why don't you
never
explain
mind.
He wants to climb in
Why don't you
Never
explain to us
mind.
how you're
Never
using
mind.
your wife's
Never mind.
uterus?
like as a
Never
punching
mind.
bag.
Never
What's really funny is he said he uses it every chance they get. He's like, "Hi-yo," and we're like, "No, why? How's that a how's that a hi-yo?" Like, you use it for
No.
Forget
what?
I
What
said
is-
that. Well, we can't forget it. because it'll
Redact that
be-
statement.
Yeah, it's going to be on the podcast.
I just want to know how you're
And you know what?
utilizing your wife's
I was
uterus.
talking to someone who's going out to Vermont, and I said, I do this podcast
Why?
He's like, because I want to share it with the world.
because she works in the psychiatric field. And I thought, what interesting stories can you tell me? And it sounds, because she's in the medical field, it sounds like, and it's like, it's interesting. And I said, you should listen to this podcast because every time I open my mouth, I get painted into a corner somehow. And she goes, really? I'm like, paraphrasing, I said, yeah, because I try not to say anything, and these guys flip it on me and paint me into a corner.
I don't think we do. I
Yeah.
think that you just say ridiculous things, and we just repeat to you what you said. You just said you use your wife's uterus
All right,
every
enough.
chance
Yeah,
you
you're
get.
right. You're right.
And all
So-
we did, and then you said, "Hi-yo,"
And
we're
all
like,
we did was
we're like,
repeat what
and-
you said.
Yeah, that's all we did. We just repeated what you said.
Yeah.
And then we asked you for
Yeah.
clarification on
Yeah.
how you use your wife's uterus every chance you get. For what? Like a coin purse? What do you
Yeah,
use? What do
I
you
thought
use?
that's a great place to keep some extra change, just in case I need it for the bus. So yeah, that's a great place to keep it. Anyway,
I
So-
mean,
You
let's
can't-
be fair. The fact that you use your wife's uterus every chance you get, when your wife probably doesn't use her uterus.
all right.
Why-
You know what? You win. You won from the get go. Anyway, why?
Ron, do you know the difference between the vagina and the uterus?
I'm not even going there. I'm not even gonna go there. Right? Even if I did or didn't, I'm gonna lose this battle. There's a chance.
You could redeem yourself right now.
No, I can't.
Yeah, hit us
Are-
with
are
some
you
science.
can't-
Hit us with some science, Ron.
No, I can't redeem myself because I'm sitting with two experts here who know more about the anatomy than I probably ever will. So I'm just gonna go quiet.
He's only seen one uterus his entire life.
Why would
But
you
he
see
uses
the
it-
Enough.
I don't know.
I'm losing this
Because he
battle.
gets to use it every time he gets, any chance he gets.
Ron, have you ever?
All right, you win. You win, hands down. You win.
No, I have a
This is
question.
like last week too, when you came at me and I looked over at Tremonti. I said, "Did you know? Even when I concede an argument to the Beaveman, and I know he's right, and I'm wrong, or I just concede, he still hammers that point in.
Well, you understand that this is a podcast that's supposed to be entertaining. We are not supposed to just sit here in silence.
No, I realize that, but if I know I'm going to lose, and I've lost already, there's no point in just making me feel
all I had was a question. I was just going to ask a question. Can I just ask the question?
Yeah, you know what? Question. And this is going well for you because he's...
Because I'm not getting picked on. Yes, it is going very well for me.
What's your question?
Have you ever hit the cervix?
Oh, never. Not at all.
Oh, okay.
Not at all.
Well, that was a quick answer, and...
So you just... Okay.
What were you going to say, Swan?
He just admitted that he got a little wiener.
Yeah, I do. Yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. I suffer from Peyronie's disease, which is a curvature of the penis, and that's that.
You're really big on the Peyronie's disease. So when you're one of those people who's like, hey, what would you tell somebody? There's a friend of mine who has this. So what would you tell them to do? And you said that to me not too long. You're like, what would You said, what would I get this person as a gift? And I said, I don't know, a free.
Well, you're always bringing
pay for their visit to the urologist. No. So the person with Peyronie's disease is actually you.
Sure, why not? But you're always bringing up these weird medical things like vitiligo, right?
That's not weird. That's common.
Yeah, it is. But when you go, do you have vitiligo of the penis? I'm like, how the hell would I know?
Well, it would be...
You just look at it.
But unfortunately...
Pale spot on your penis?
Unfortunately, I did meet somebody who had vitiligo of the hands. So, you're right. It's more common than I thought.
It was unfortunate that you met somebody...
Or fortunate.
So what are they, a fucking leper? Is unfortunate
that
you met somebody with
that's
vitiligo?
what Yeah, no. So, every time I think I know
I'm sorry,
something...
persons who listen to this podcast, if you have vitiligo, apparently the Ronz is a vitiligoist.
I was just going to say that. He's racist against your vitiligo.
He's a vitiligo hater.
I wouldn't say racist. I would say prejudice.
Prejudice?
Yeah, that's a good word. Can you say other words now?
I can.
Well, awesome.
Ooh, go fuck yourself.
So what do you have against people with vitiligo?
I don't. But, you paint me into a corner with...
If there was someone here with vitiligo right now, what would you do? What would you say to them? Would you be uncomfortable? Would you sit on the
No, I would say hello to you.
Would you shake their hands?
Yeah.
Why? It's time of the COVID. Why would you do that, Ronz?
Most likely, if they're sitting close to me and they don't have a mask, they've been shot up.
So
why would you think that?
Honestly, I don't know.
That's a stupid
You're
assumption.
right, but I have. So.
And if
you know what? I know you two.
Could still
I know you two would not
spread
invite anybody over without doing a screening on them. So I feel safe here, at least.
Well, we're glad that it's a safe space for you.
Oh, it's not, but I feel safe for the moment because there's no one else but us three, right? And everybody's had their shots. The baby Swan, the son, by the way, and Tremonde, who's not here, of course. But everybody's had their shot. And Carrie, of course. And by the way, I asked Carrie, and I'm going to...
Is that your beautiful wife, Carrie?
It is, my beautiful wife.
His lovely wife.
Your lovely wife.
When we got home, she goes...
He doesn't call her beautiful. You might want to change that. You've just been calling her your lovely wife. I guess you mean lovely overall in general personality.
Oh, everything.
He says my beautiful wife sometimes.
Yeah. But when we got home, she goes, I have to go to the bathroom. I said, well, why didn't you use the Beavemans, right, when there? Because of the podcast that you guys said you don't take a shit and somebody else is not going to do
She had to drop a douche. You just told everybody that your wife had to shit.
No, she
just held her shit in for like 3 hours.
She did not want to use your bathroom because she didn't, she's like...
Just in case on the off chance that she had to drop a deuce. Like she sat down and she's like, oh, nope, can't do it.
She was respectful, and she's like, I didn't want the Beaveman coming after me for whatever reason.
Why would I do that? So I think you're lying. I think you're saying that you just dimed your wife. You just dimed your wife out.
You made her clench her cheeks the entire way home.
People listen to this podcast all over the whole world, Ronz, and you just dimed out your wife.
What do you mean dimed out?
And you encourage people that you know to listen to this podcast. So you just literally said that your wife had to take a shit, but she didn't want to do it.
You know what?
But she didn't want to do it in our house.
I did not say that. You came to your own conclusion on that.
Because you immediately started talking about
she did not want to use your bathroom. I did not say anything of that nature. If you go back and listen to it, because I know I listen to the podcast, I didn't say anything about that. You often assume I say stuff, right? And that's what makes this podcast great, because you corner me really good with your words.
You did it to yourself.
I did not.
You did it again.
I did not. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez.
Do you want to?
And by the way,
do you want to apologize to your beautiful wife?
Yeah,
for
I do
driving
at
her
this
out
point.
on taking a shit.
But,
so immediately when she got home, what did she do? Went and took a shit, right?
I don't know. I don't follow her into the bathroom, but I have to say
She
this.
follows him.
Yeah, she has to wipe.
She has to assist him because he's like a small child.
But I have to say this much: she laughed so hard
That she
because she loved the way you do your voices.
Does your wife have a baby monitor when you're by yourself? And she listens to.
No, she does not.
Do you have? Let's see your ankles.
Oh,
You got a special bracelet on?
No,
Yeah,
I do
but
not.
the-
I do not. I do
Do
not.
you wear one of those necklaces with a little
Oh,
alert?
little
tag?
medical
alert?
alert? No,
Alert?
I don't. I don't. But
What
you
are you
know, I'm
talking
not
to?
wearing my my Fitbit watch or that monitor watch. I'm wearing my regular watches.
His quote Fitbit.
Yeah,
It's not
a
really a
tracker.
Fitbit. It's his little tracker and it's
Yeah,
his monitor.
it's a tracker watch. So she knows where I'm at. No, today I'm wearing my other watch. So no, but she. I'm just gonna keep.
What do you think
this
she's
one.
going to say when she hears this episode?
She's probably gonna go. No, you were right, but the Beaveman.
Oh, so now you're saying that she did have to take a shit, but she didn't want to take one.
No, I was gonna. Oh man.
You know you're right.
Can't
And then
even
you
get
just
out
said
of
that.
this.
He just said,
He
you know
did,
you're
he
right.
did.
She's like, yeah, you know you're right. I did have to take a shit, but I didn't want to do in there. Thanks for
Oh,
telling.
that-
Thanks
that-
for
And we
telling.
have the
way to
good
go.
toilet paper too, Carrie.
Thanks for telling the world that I had to shit at the Beaveman's house, but I didn't do it.
There you go. There you go. You know what? I probably won't have sexual relationships for the next 6 to 7 months because of this one podcast. So I'm in the same boat with you, right? So I'm not going. You know, but I love her. But it's going to be a very cold.
You better take
day.
her home some flowers.
Yeah. Right. So it is. It is. So
Well, you don't have to take her home some flowers now, just in a couple days.
I like that.
When
In
the
a couple of
podcast-
days.
when the podcast airs.
Yeah.
So
she's
you've
yeah.
got time.
Or you could do it preemptively. Like this is for what's coming up.
No, just don't even tell her. Just to say you were thinking of her, and here you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's gonna go well. Then she's gonna listen to the podcast.
And then the
I'm
podcast comes out, and then people that know her are going to come up to her like, "So you had to shit at the Beaveman's house?"
No, I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
That's why you guys had to leave so abruptly, wasn't it? She's
No,
like, yeah, we gotta get going
I
home.
had been up really, really late, and like we all know that it's just horrendous right now for me. So I thought I'd push the issue
Because he's entered the work life again.
Yeah,
The workforce.
I have.
Yeah.
I have.
So anyway, back to what I was
Anyway,
saying.
anywho,
I will allow this though when I die. If anybody wants my organs or tissues, you can have them. I'm fine with that. You can't have my penis, Ronz.
well, I don't need anything
I mean,
smaller
for-
than what I have,
for medical
so
reasons.
you can keep that.
I've hit the cervix.
Oh.
So
Right? Is that what they call it in the fleshlight?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
cricket
Did you know I
noises.
don't have one of those anymore? In case you wanted to know.
No, I didn't. Right?
don't.
No, but
Every
if you
time I
had
asked
one-
about the surgery that you had,
But if you
I-
had
E-Man
one,
yelled at
but if
me.
you had one, the Ronz would use it every chance he got.
He would. He's not going to use mine at all, ever.
Now you could use it as a pocketbook.
Yeah. Yeah,
So-
you could.
So this
You could
actually
use it as a change
this
for
is one of those questions then. With the Beaveman passing away, would you remarry?
No.
Why not? Why?
Nope.
Why not?
Yeah.
I might have a person, but I'm never going to get married again.
So you're gonna have
You're
a
gonna
booty
have a
call.
person.
Okay.
So here's
Yeah.
here's what I don't understand, right? And this is one of those, I guess, the type of a semantic thing. If you pass away and you're going to your version of heaven, let's say that that's how it is, and you were married before, and let's say your significant other died, and when they died, you guys were together and you were happy. So they're in heaven waiting for you. But then you get married to somebody else, and then you die. So you don't go to that person who's been waiting for you for eternity, for years?
Well, what made you split apart?
Death.
You dumb fuck! Didn't you
No.
listen to what I
No,
just
you
said?
said-
So
said-
you were 25 and happily married and happy, and all of a sudden you died at age 25.
He
Okay,
wasn't, he
your-
wasn't paying attention.
Your wife,
I was, but
I
I missed.
specifically
No,
set it
no,
up.
I was,
Your
but
widow-
I misinterpreted.
your
it.
widow gets remarried, and she's happily ever after with somebody else and dies at age 80, but you're dead at 25, waiting in heaven for her to come to you.
Okay.
But now she's happily ever after with someone else. Does
Okay.
she come back to you? Or does she stay with the new happily ever after husband? Or do you share? Or
Yeah, share alternating weekends.
like sister wives?
Yeah.
Or does
No,
it,
they're not going to heaven.
do they become... Do you get another one of you? One for you and one for him? like in heaven?
Well, here's what I think happens.
Uh-huh.
I think
Tell.
I'm about to.
I think there's lots of versions of heaven.
I think
like,
the version of heaven is the version you want.
ooh, so I'm not there.
So you're not there.
I'm not totally
But
not
are you
there.
decked
Totally
out in
not
Star
there.
Wars garb fighting with your lightsaber? Or would
No.
it be medieval fighting?
No, I'm fighting alongside Saint Michael, the Archangel.
Ooh. Valhalla.
No, that's not
No.
Valhalla because he's not fucking Norse.
Okay.
Saint Michael is the Archangel. He's not Norse.
Okay.
Freaking, I don't understand.
No, see, I was
Because
going to
he's
say...
Jewish. Leave him
I'm not
alone.
Jewish.
Saint Michael is from the Old Testament, so therefore also the Jewish know who Saint Michael is, who know the Michael. The
Honestly,
Archangel.
I'm not a biblical person. I wouldn't know.
I don't know these things either.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm
What?
really not. And is it...
Michael the Archangel cast Lucifer into hell when he fought. He's the archangel, all the badass archangels that fought the demons.
Okay. Fantastic. Okay. If that's what you know and that's what you believe,
I'm
good
saying
luck.
so. Heaven is your version. I wouldn't say that's my version. I'm just saying that I think that's individualized.
I would agree if that's the way
If
you
you
think
were, if you were, like I think about my grandma. My grandma was married to my grandpa, and they got divorced. She's not sitting in heaven waiting for him to come around.
No.
She's probably sitting on a lake fishing and doing what she wanted to do. If you sat around waiting for that, and you're like, oh great, now I got to deal eternity with this person.
Maybe you get whatever you want in heaven.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what heaven is.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I hope. I mean, I don't want to go, like, oh, you'll be reunited with all of your relatives. Well, maybe I don't fucking want to be reunited with all my relatives.
I agree with that. Yeah, because there are some of the relatives I have that were fucking annoying, and why would I want to go back to them?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see my dog.
Yeah.
Things like that. That's
All
that's what
dogs
I
go
want.
to heaven.
There you go. Good movie. Mm-hmm. Never seen it, but seen the title.
I did. That was a good movie.
So, speaking of dogs going to heaven, have you ever seen the movie Hachiko?
Yes.
Which version?
I don't know.
The one with Richard Gere, the American version?
Yeah.
That's a very sad movie. I like that movie.
Nice segue into sad movies. It's Halloween month, Ronz.
Yeah, stop bringing up Old Yeller and shit, Ron.
Are
I
you,
didn't bring up Old Yeller.
So what have I told you so far about what to do when I die?
So, I like how this is a pop quiz, so F you. But I can do that. Buried in...
Oh, you're wrong.
Okay, I'll quit right
Wow,
there.
wrong already.
Okay, wait, keep going.
Well,
But keep
first of all,
going.
Wait, keep going.
Keep going.
first of all, let me get there to
Okay,
my
yes,
own
let's
please do.
get
Please,
there.
please.
Right,
Get there.
you don't want to be buried if you want to be cremated. However,
Nice save.
well,
Even though
I was
helped-
getting there.
You said buried.
I did, but I was getting
what
there.
you said was you want to be buried.
I was getting there to the point.
Okay. mhm.
Right. Sorry if I took a wrong turn somewhere.
First, I'm
but I
gonna
was
bury
look
you,
back.
and then I'm gonna dig you up and strip you down just in case.
Oh wow, Swan, that's gross.
I mean, that's what you do, right?
I
He
don't
was saving
know.
me.
How many
So
bodies
he's-
have you buried and
saving
dug up?
you. Saving you. Okay, go
Saving
ahead.
me.
Carry on. So, cremated.
So I like how you don't cremate him right away,
Oh, what are we doing with him?
right? You're dressing him in. There are two ways. The first one's kind of fuzzy, but I know the other one was full replica of Darth Vader's outfit from Return of the Jedi, right? For the funeral pyre, right?
Okay.
And not stuffing his pockets full of anything. And then his ashes. I don't know. What would you want done with your ashes? 'Cause
Well, if
didn't
you
go
do a
into that.
full-on funeral pyre, there really isn't any ashes to distinguish. Because if you do a full-on funeral pyre, the pyre burns too. So literally, you could just plow it into the earth where it is. It doesn't freaking matter. It's not like here where they cremate people.
Okay.
Cremation here now is all they do is grind it all up, and you get a nice little packet of ash.
And you said the Swan is specifically not allowed to have your ashes.
No, that's not what I said. What I said was,
I can have them. I just can't keep them.
Don't
Like,
keep
don't
them.
put him on a shelf.
Okay, my misinterpretation. So, where would you keep them then? In the closet?
No, he didn't even tell us yet.
No, well, he can't. He's dead. Where would you keep him?
He wants them spread places.
Oh, where?
well, first I want the children to have to do things with them, like take them places.
Like weekend at Bernie's.
No,
Like,
I mean,
in a box? Like
I want them to,
in a backpack, like Pokemon style? Like,
yeah,
here's
or,
my dad.
you
Like,
know, like spread them in different places just to be obnoxious.
So, would you have them wear a tiny vial of your ashes
No.
as a necklace?
No.
Now, here's something for what Swan could do. He's basically passed on. You can compress the body, right, into a blue. I think.
No, I don't
a
want
diamond.
that either. No,
I
I
know
don't
you're
want
dead.
that. That's
You're
not
dead.
what I want.
You stay dead. You stay dead.
You're
That
dead.
way- yeah, you're
You're
dead.
dead.
So you can show off that diamond. It's like, and so when anybody comes
Why
courting
is that showing
you,
it off?
hold on, I'm getting there. So if anybody ever comes courting you, right, because there will be. Or
Did you say corking her?
courting?
Courting.
Oh, I think I said
Corking.
corking. All I could think was somebody shoving a cork in her ass.
Well, that's where you went. So anyway, you could say, so how did what happened to your ex-husband, right?
I made him into this rock.
Uh-huh. So that's so badass.
No.
Yeah, you could have-
it's kind of, no.
All right, fantastic. That's, but he has no say. He's gone anyway. Because if he doesn't put it down in a will, it's up to you to decide.
Why would she want to do that? It's not
She-
worth anything. It's just going to be thrown away someday. Just like everything we have is going to be thrown
Well,
away
duh.
someday.
If whatever, when the sun explodes, we're all dead anyway. If you want to be that nihilistic and that dark about it,
Why would you want her to keep my ashes around when I specifically said don't?
you didn't put it in a will.
I'm telling you
He's
right
telling
now.
you right now, ingrained on the podcast.
I'm
Okay.
telling you right now, this is to survive forever. I'm putting out in the airwaves that will go out to the aliens. Don't keep my ashes. Spread them. But
Okay.
first, the children got to do goofy things with them.
Okay,
Okay,
like
so
what?
well, like what?
Like examples.
Well, I don't know because I'm not that interesting. I don't know. That's the sad thing is I don't really have anything I like to do.
Well, no, that's not true. There's a lot you like to do. You just don't.
No, not
mention it.
anything that's mainstream though. I'm like,
No.
I don't know. Maybe
You taught me to play Pokemon Go.
no,
I
didn't.
did. No,
Oh,
he
okay.
doesn't play that.
But no, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Pokemon
You taught me to
card
play
game.
Yeah, the Pokemon card game. So the son would have to take you to a Pokemon card tournament.
Yeah, but I want him to do something obnoxious. Like if you had to go to a Pokemon tournament, then you take like a pocket full of my ashes and like spread it out throughout the tournament area.
I agree. That's
just
great.
so that the guy at the end of the day has to come vacuum up my ashes and stuff.
Yeah, that's a great idea. I like that idea.
Or take it paddleboarding and put some in the water. I don't know,
Oh,
all kinds of
fantastic.
goofy stuff like that.
Right? Or take you to a movie premiere of whatever, right? And when there's this, big scene, he just kind of spreads you around like confetti.
Well, I don't want anybody like inhaling me. That's kind of disgusting. But
Okay.
but
Fair
no,
enough.
just like leaving a little bit of it here and there, and then deciding where you're going to get rid of all of it. I mean, I don't. That's the sad thing is when I think about it, I'm like, I don't really have any place where I want all my ashes spread. So I'm like,
Well,
it doesn't really matter.
What about the dojo? You're a black belt there.
Why would I want my ashes spread at the dojo?
That's where Ronz wants his. He's already got it planned.
No, I don't.
He
But
just
I mean,
wants to stir his penis in my ashes.
no, I do not.
Probably.
Let me
Wow,
stir
you are
that up for you.
so fixated on that. But
Let
no.
me coat my penis like a powdered donut with your ashes.
Whoa! I mean, I'm all for.
It'd just be a little bit of it though, because he already said he had a little penis.
Yeah, there's
Wow.
gonna be plenty of ash left over.
Wow, I like how you're going there, but I didn't go there. But that's cool. That's your preference. Right? But
As
if
long as my ashes don't end up on or around Carrie's mouth.
Oh, jeez. That'd be.
Little power donut.
Yeah, that'd be
Have you
powdering
started?
the balls.
Have you started calling her a little powder?
He's
donut?
yeah, Ronz is gonna put you in a can and like, sprinkle you on like gold
This
bond.
is cheaper than gold bond.
Yeah, cheaper than Gold Bond. No,
Like, he's
I'm
gonna
giving
powder
you- he's
your
like,
nuts
I
with
got
it.
enough powder here for.
No, I would never do that. I don't know.
Never
I would try to adhere to your wishes as long as they were reasonable. Right? Let's
That
put
is
it that
not
way.
gonna be, that's not going to be one of my wishes. That's one of your wishes.
No. I'll give it some thought and see how I never thought how I wanted to be buried or anything like that. I'm glad you gave it some thought.
I think we should think about it. The downside is though, as I was telling the swans, I'm like, it's probably not going to be for a while,
I hope not.
and she's not allowed to die before me.
No, not at all. I would like that.
That's kind of the rule. So, have you started calling your wife Lil Powder? Donut?
No, I do not. I do not. I call her sweetheart, blue eyes, whatever. I used to have cute
Why?
nicknames.
So why are you not calling her Lil Powder Donut?
Because it never crossed my mind. Never crossed my mind.
What do you think would happen if you call
What
her?
other cute little nicknames?
What would happen if you call her Lil Powder Donut?
when
No.
she smacked you in the face.
When
I don't know.
when you went home the other day, did she say that she really thought about punching Tremonti in the dick just to
No.
fulfill that vision that we thought would possibly happen?
Oh, she would not punch Tremonti in the dick. Why would she?
Why not?
She's too nice.
Maybe the dick bobs.
Oh, no. Don't
The
give
dick,
me...
yeah,
no,
the dick
no.
would. The dick would
Carrie
move out of the way.
is not nice.
Maybe the
Let me
dick-
tell you
maybe
what
the-
happened today.
Maybe the dick can block.
Wait, he has
No.
a story. Oh, the dick might
Right.
be able to block. Carrie's not nice.
Oh.
What happened today, Ronz?
So now you're saying that not only did Carrie consider taking a dump in my home, but she's also not nice.
Oh,
Yes.
crap. She's gonna not. Boy, I might
She's
as well
gonna
just
not
be
powder your
celibate for the
donut.
next year.
She's not gonna powder your donut anytime soon.
I am going to be celibate for a very, very long time.
What would
you.
it take for you to call her a little powdered donut?
Next Ronz challenge.
You know she really likes you guys.
I like that.
but
What's wrong with that nickname? I like
Little
that
powdered
nickname.
donut.
Little powdered donut.
She really likes you guys, and you're just going to put me in the doghouse there.
No, it's just a question. What's wrong with that nickname? I don't think there's a problem with that nickname.
Oh, don't even. If they could see that look you have right now, this innocent look like, what?
Yeah,
No.
like what's wrong with that nickname?
Yeah.
Little powdered donut. She's little.
I'm not going. So, what nicknames does the Beaveman have for you?
Swan.
Anything else?
No.
That's it.
Yeah,
No.
Swan. Yeah. And Swan's kind of interchangeable. We both call each
She
other
calls
that.
me Swan too.
Yeah.
Oh, that's okay. Fair enough. Right. But she is not nice today.
Okay, why? Yeah.
Yeah, why
Okay.
wasn't she nice?
So
you
today-
you got like a few minutes to tell us why.
Well, would you
You
let
gotta
me
tell
get
us
to the
why
damn
your
story?
why your lovely wife isn't nice.
So,
His beautiful, lovely wife.
He said she's not nice. We just
Yeah.
need to know why.
well, would you let
we
me
need
get
to know
that?
why
Yeah,
little
tell us,
powdered
Ron.
donut isn't nice. Why isn't little powdered
So-
donut nice?
Anyway, I was driving around today, and there was a car that was in front of us that hit the brakes and was turning off real quick.
Were they okay?
Well, they were okay.
Did you
apparently.
check?
Were they
Did you
fine?
get out and check?
No, so anyway, there was another car
Please
rolling
hold.
out into the intersection. So, in case of bad drivers, I had to hit my brakes real quick because they just turned off real quick instead of slowing down. But then they hit the brakes, and the other car was coming this way, and I was in control of the entire situation. But Carrie just turns around and starts to flip them the entire finger gestures, and I'm like, "What are you doing?"
I was in charge of it. I was in control of the entire situation.
I
I
was.
don't know how you can
You're
say you're in
right,
control
so-
if you're sleep deprived. Sleep.
What's that word again?
I was gonna say if you had sleep deprivation, but
I
you were
didn't.
sleep deprived.
I
You-
wasn't.
You weren't.
No, I don't get sleep deprived too often.
Really? Okay.
Really? Because you.
So what
Okay,
happened then?
Anyway,
So she got
carry on.
angry.
She gave some choice finger gestures.
And I said, "What are you doing?" I'm the one, it's like, well, she was like, she will start a fight with other drivers if she can, just to make her point that she is the better driver than them.
But she wasn't even driving.
I know that.
Now, if
So
she
she was
flipped
trying
them
to start
off,
a fight for you.
I can just imagine
Yeah.
now. Would they be able to see her flipping them off, or would they just be able to see the very little tip of her finger?
Oh well,
Does
you'll.
So
you'll-
does she sit on like phone books in the car, or
you know
She's
what?
got a booster seat. No.
what kind? Now what does Lil Powder Donut sit on in the car?
She's just.
Oh, so it's gonna be 2 years before I even have a good relationship with her again.
There's just
so
a
thank
question.
you.
Does she? Do you have to? Is there a special seat that she has, or?
There's
He's
a,
laughing because now I'm convinced that
No,
there actually is.
there's
some-
a story behind that statement actually.
Oh,
She
let's
has
hear
a
it.
pillow behind her back
Is it gonna
so
make
that
you-
she can reach
At,
the pedals.
at one point, she did have a pillow behind her back because I drive the seat kind of way back.
and then the seat doesn't move.
And
at
she's
one
not
point-
allowed to change it.
She's
No, I think her old car, it did move, so it was kind of locked into a halfway point between her and me. So she. Would
So you had to like scrunch your feet up, like think small.
kind of. I think. No, when our son was growing up, what was the recommended age that you got a booster seat for
I
your
don't
child?
remember anymore.
So
I
it
don't
was
know.
like
Yeah.
a certain amount of pounds and a certain amount of height.
Uh-huh.
And she says, well, he's going to have to be in a booster seat until he's like 15 or 18.
Uh-huh.
And I said,
Well,
if
by
that
that,
were the
theory, she'd be in a booster seat too.
exactly, that's what I said too.
Uh-huh.
And I'm
The
like,
height
it's-
requirement? Yeah.
I said, that's not going to be the case. So when you go, does she have to have a booster seat? You'll have to ask her that, not me. But I don't think she does.
You don't think she does?
No.
So you can neither confirm nor deny that your wife has to have some sort of a booster seat in the car. You could have just said she doesn't have one, but you're sitting there going, "Well, I can't confirm or deny that she doesn't."
No,
have
you
one.
just said that, not me. But no, she doesn't need a booster seat. But by indicating that she doesn't need, you're saying, "Oh, so she's not that short." Well, she's not.
I didn't say that.
There's a lot of shit I don't say that you infer that I say.
You do a pretty good job of painting yourself into that
there's
corner.
not anything that we're doing. We're just responding to what you say.
Yeah, the Beaveman is one of these master manipulators. I can see how he got the beautiful swan into Miriam.
Also, when I die, do not have a mass.
Why would I? You're not Jewish.
What?
Anyway, why wouldn't I have a? Why don't you want a mass?
Because it's boring.
Nobody wants to sit through
and
that.
Nobody wants to sit through
So
that.
do you want people to come in to your funeral?
I want there to be like lots of good stuff to eat. I want people to tell funny stories.
Well, that would be a mass of people,
and I don't want any type of mass. No.
Okay.
Like a party instead.
Okay.
And this is crucial. This is the most important thing.
Okay.
I want paratroopers at my funeral.
Do you have any list of your old paratrooper friends?
No. I want a detail from the 82nd Airborne Division to come to my funeral.
Oh, most likely they will, and deliver, what is it, the salute and the flag turned over to your spouse.
Yeah, but I'm just saying it has to. That's the only thing I care about.
All right, cool. And have you ever thought about if you knew the exact day where you're going to pass away, or you know whereabouts, would you have that funeral early? Not the cremation, of course, but would you celebrate your passing early?
So that I was there?
Yeah.
No.
So there are some people that actually do that.
Why would I do that? The funeral's not for me.
Well, yes, it is. It's for you, per se, because you were celebrating your life. So would you like to be there? I mean, if you know you're going to die, let's say a week from now on Friday, right? One less podcast, and have everybody show up and have a good party. And then
why would I waste my time podcasting if I have 1 week left to live?
Oh, my God. Why not? All the rants and raves, you could complain about everything and anything, and knowing that...
You could tell everybody to go fuck themselves.
Like, in
such detail.
I don't have to do it.
But with names.
Yes, with names.
But then what happens if you don't die?
Well, let's not go there yet.
You just don't release that podcast?
Yeah, you don't release that podcast. So it's on Friday you're alive. Well, Saturday you pass away. Then release it. We'll have it released on Saturday. Have it
Who's going to release it? You rereads don't even know how to do it.
True.
And not only do you not know how to do it, none of you has ever even attempted to ask me how to do it.
God, Ronz, get with the program. I'm volunteering you.
I like how you...
There'll be some grammatical errors.
No. I liked how you looked at the
You probably
B-Man.
can't even spell podcast. Honestly.
Not.
Honestly, I liked how you looked at the B-Man going, this shit's coming. I'm going to deflect it over to the Ronz. That's awesome. True. So, no, I would love to learn how to do the editing and all that. I really would, right? I think...
Very non-committal thing to say, because nobody's going to prove that you have no desire to do that whatsoever.
And then, you know what? If I don't do it right, you're going to haunt me until it gets done.
Probably.
Right.
Why would I want to waste my time haunting you?
Just because
that's another thing I don't
a
understand.
Giant dick.
Why would I want to waste eternity haunting someone?
No, it couldn't be for eternity. It'd be that, hey, you screwed up, I'm off. But I just want you to know, you've got to live with the way you screwed up. But I'm going to go to Valhalla and
I'm not going to go to Valhalla.
Wherever you go.
I mean, if it was one of those things, that is a kind of interesting concept, though. If it was one of those things where if heaven is everybody's version of their own version, so, like, you get to go to whatever, like, if you have a friend that believes in Valhalla, they're like, hey, dude, I'll come visit you, and if that's cool. Yeah, man, cool. So you go visit them, you go hang out with them, you eat some boar, you go back home. You go back to your version of heaven. That would be kind of cool.
Sort of like a neighborhood of heavens.
Sure, why not?
Yeah, that'd be
What's
great.
to say that, I mean, that's one of my big problems I've always had with religion. If you had no ability, because of the time that you were born, to be exposed to Christianity and know Jesus and know that religion,
Amen.
how is it that you can say that a religion that was around 3,000 years ago is wrong? So what happened to all those souls? That's what I'm saying. Don't they just go to where what their
Wherever
version
they
of
believe
heaven
in.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the theology, philosophy questions I often had. What did people do before Christ came? You know, what did they do before the Bible was written? Right, the Torah was written. Right, if you look at Norse writings, what did they do before Odin came around? Right, did they just go out for coffee?
Well, that's what I'm saying. So if you believe in an afterlife, then what happened to all those souls?
That's a conundrum, and maybe we should look that up.
Look it up.
Where
We're gonna
do
get some
lost
sort of answer.
souls
We're gonna
go?
get some sort of answer
Well,
for that.
no, I'm pretty sure there's some sort of
There's an explanation.
yeah, some theological debate on that somewhere
Well,
out
of course
there.
there is. But but the debate ends with people who are like modern day people who believe in Christ or whatever. They're like, oh no, you can only go to heaven if you believe in Jesus. I'm like, okay, but again,
What happened?
if Jesus
to the
didn't come along until 2,000 years ago, and people have been on the planet before Jesus came,
AKA
then-
BC.
what happened to all those people that didn't have the opportunity to encounter Jesus?
And what does BC mean?
Before Christ.
What's AD mean?
After death?
No.
No, AD
After-
is Anno
Anno
Domini,
Domini.
and BC stands for, I don't remember. It's not before
I don't know.
Christ.
I don't know.
That's not what it means. It has an actual Latin
Yeah.
term, but yeah. But that's what people say. And then when he was alive is
But I like the
in
after
years
death,
of our,
it
in
sounds
the year of
mellow.
our Lord. You know, in the year of our Lord. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
Whatever.
your lightning.
Something like that.
That's your Latin outlining. Your Latin. word.
Again, though, that's my point. And so all these people were wrong.
Sure, why not? Why not? They were all wrong. It's sort of like how many times you tell me or the Swan that we're wrong when we're right.
Because you generally are wrong.
Well, sometimes I'm right.
No. Well, I mean, you can't be wrong all the time. A clock is, a broken clock is correct twice a day. so-
Wrong. If it's a digital clock, there are no batteries. It's wrong all the time.
Well, it's not even on.
There you go. You just answered your own question, and
And
I guess I am right.
aren't you the one who's like, oh, I don't even like digital. I like analog.
Well, I like a digital clock, but I also like analog watch. I like an analog watch more.
So why
than
did you
others.
automatically switch to thinking it was digital when you're the one who's professing the greatness of analog?
You just, jeez. Yeah, see, there's that.
Oh,
the-
jeez.
Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. You know, it's just because
Are you going to be buried?
I hadn't given my thought.
Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
What does your DPOA say is going to happen
is she
to
gonna,
you?
Is she going to bury you or?
Okay. All
Your
right.
guardian. Your guardian, Gary.
Oh,
She'll make
Yeah,
those
you're probably
decisions
actually. Yeah,
for
he's
you.
not actually allowed to make any of those decisions.
Actually,
Yeah.
I hadn't given it much thought. I really haven't, right? Because,
Because you're just going to be around forever.
well, sometimes I think I am. With modern technology and modern medicine, we can live well into other.
Well, I mean, you could if you actually had something to work with, but because you don't actually go to the doctor and do anything preventative, you're just waiting for everything to go to shit, and you think they're going to fix everything.
There are some people who never go to a doctor and lived well into their hundreds. There are some people who go to the
Yeah,
doctor.
that's the exception. Whenever people
So I
do
can't
that,
be part of the exception.
whenever people do that, I'm always like, yeah, you're quoting an exception, but the norm is this.
So
People are like, oh, my
And aren't you the one that
my
says-
grandfather smoked a pack a day and ate
Okay,
a pound of bacon.
wait,
I'm like, your grandfather is the exception,
so
not the rule.
aren't you the one saying I'm not normal? I'm the exception.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying you're not normal. I didn't say you're the exception.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. I will grant you that. I am the exception.
You're not exceptional. There's a difference.
Oh, okay.
You're not
okay.
exceptional. You might
But,
be the exception, but
Why would I not think that I can live forever?
I didn't say you couldn't think
So
that.
he's delusional.
I
That's
would
why he
agree.
has a guardian.
I would agree. I would agree that.
I mean,
think-
my guess is that your prostate is the size of a watermelon.
Cool.
No, that's not cool. Do you get up a lot of times during the night to go pee?
No.
Well, I mean, you can't now because you're working.
There
But
we
while
go.
you're sleeping, that's probably why he only
doesn't
takes
sleep.
cat naps, because he has to get up to pee every
doesn't
6
sleep.
minutes. He doesn't sleep. He's a vampire. He
Or
doesn't
a
sleep.
werewolf. Werewolves don't
I
sleep.
feel like they sleep. They do.
They do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course, they like to sleep.
Vampires don't sleep.
I don't.
They have no need to sleep or eat, except for all
Yeah.
they need is to drink blood. Don't you watch all the vampire movies?
Yeah, that's why I don't want to be a vampire. I like food and sleep.
I do try sleeping, but sometimes it's the outside world that keeps me awake. Like
From all the responsibilities that you have,
no,
all the possible emergencies,
the lawnmowers,
all the stuff that you might have to respond to.
By. I try to sleep. Phone calls from fucking telemarketers.
Yeah, maybe you should put your phone on silence.
It's my landline that does that.
You can do that with
You
your
could
landline
do that to
also.
that too.
You can
What
silence your landline. Ours is silenced.
But I also have it ringing just in case Carrie needs me. So
I'm pretty
this
sure
is
she
where
knows you're sleeping and she won't need you.
All right, fair enough.
And you can set it to where if she really needs you, she can be the emergency ring tone. It will ring for her, but no one else.
Oh, I never thought about that.
Yeah.
I really hadn't thought about it.
Because he's so tech savvy.
He's too
No.
busy thinking about powdering his balls.
Probably
There we go.
with your ashes.
With Beaveman's ashes.
So anyway, before we sign off, I did just want to say this. In all sincerity, I have felt like I've wasted many years of my life not getting close to people. So unfortunately, people that encounter me now, you're probably going to have to be spending more time with me. Because you keep pushing these things off, and I just realized the other day that I knew my friend for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've known him for over 2 decades. And and I always thought that, with this stupid, I'm always like, oh, I really want to go do this with him. But there's a pandemic. Or I really want to go do this. He just lives down the road. He's not that far away. And thought I had my whole life. And I do have my whole life, but he's gone. So unfortunately, the people that I know, that I've known for a really long time, I mean, even at, where I go, the place that shall not be named, I've known those people for freaking almost 10 years and not really spent any time with them. So that's kind of sad when you think about it. I'm like, wow, I've spent my whole life, the past, 30 years pushing people away from me. Because I always think that people don't really want to hang out with me anyway. I'm like, I don't really want to bother people because I'm like, well, they're probably not interested in spending time with me anyway. But I also never ask. So if I never ask, then I never know if they do or not. So I guess I should have been asking this whole time.
Well, on a more somber note, as you say.
Okay, this is my time. I don't know why you just feel like you gotta fucking say something. I'm just kidding.
Is that when you invited me to be on the podcast the first time, I was so honored. And I'm like, I asked my guardian, can I do this?
Oh, he admits it now.
Oh, I always admit that. And she goes, yeah, go ahead and do that. And when you accepted, you say, hey, you want to do this as a regular thing? And we've expanded it. And I'm like, yeah, I've always honored that, that you let me in. I've never once taken it for granted. I've always humbled that I get to do this with you, right? You're, as the text said, you're kind to me. I mean, everybody outside the podcast probably doesn't know this, so I'll say it, is that, you're a very nice person. Now, you're a sarcastic asshole when you want to be, like the time I said, you don't say hi to me at the dojo, and the time that you were going out the door, I hear, bye, Ronz! And I'm like, oh, okay, and all the parents are like looking at me like, what's going on? And I'm like, I'll explain later, but your family, you, the swan, the daughter, and the son have always been exceptionally nice to me. They really have. With the exception of the daughter, last week when she's trying to play Pokemon Go, yelling at me, why don't you do this, this, and this? And I'm like, I don't know how to play the game. In fact, on that game, do you know how to throw a curveball?
Yes.
See, I didn't know that until today, right? But she is a sarcastic teenager, so I have to take that with a grain of salt. The boy has always been exceptionally well-behaved, very sweet, very quiet. Right? And outside of the podcast, you guys have always treated my family like your family, right? And I've always been humble and grateful by that. So why wouldn't, the more you let me in, the more I'm humbled that you let me in. Like today, I know I couldn't stay after the podcast, but I was still looking for my deck of Pokemon cards. Like, I gotta bring it to the Beaveman to show him that I can do that. That I really do that. And I forgot where I placed him, but I'll bring it back. I'll look for him.
It's all right. I forgive you. That's fine.
Thank you.
But yes, yeah, I mean, we all do put on like little facades on who we are to protect ourselves.
Yeah, we do.
And you get to a point where like, which person am I? Is that really who I am? Is that not who I am? And honestly, I really don't know who I am.
I know who you are. You're a very kind person who likes to keep people at bay until you get to know them and trust them.
So, yeah.
So,
I mean, maybe I'll try to change. Who knows?
No, you won't.
I might, because I just, you don't know until people are gone. You're like, you think that you've got your whole life, and you find out you don't.
I've lost a couple of good friends like that who I try to find on Facebook. I had one friend that I was in the middle of London, kid you not, and he called out my name, and I heard my name, the Ronz, and I'm like, okay, maybe I didn't hear that right. Then he yelled my last name, and I'm like, who the hell is calling me in the middle of this metropolis? Donut. And I turned around, and it was Lurch. That was his nickname we had for him. And I'm like, dude, last time I heard you were in Alaska. What are you doing here? He told me something he was doing, and I'm like, how'd you spot me? He says, you're hard to miss. You're not hard to miss in the middle of London, right? And I thought that was so cool. And then he passed away, right? And I always thought I could reconnect with him. One of my best friends from England, right, got divorced, but I kind of connected with him because he moved down to Florida. Then he got into a tragic accident and passed away. And I always think, my God, he was a great guy. People pass away all the time, and you got to value those moments that you have. And if you push people away, in the end, unfortunately, the result is that's what you get, right? So thank you for trying to push me into your life and the swan out so I could be part of it.
Yeah,
he wants to take my place.
Right.
Well, I mean, at least he also doesn't have a uterus, so...
Or a cervix.
Or a cervix.
There you go. Perfect.
Perfect.
It's a great relationship.
Oh, yeah. All right, well, that's it for me. Try not to be too somber, but...
But don't take your friends or family for granted.
Don't take your friends or family for granted. You know, and the sad thing is, honestly, knowing my friend who passed away, I know he was always thinking the same thing.
Yeah.
Because we were a lot alike. And so I know he was probably always like, I should go hang out with Beaveman. He's only a couple hours down the road. And I know it was probably the same thing that was thinking the same time. And we just never, said, hey, we should do that. I mean, because the problem with relationships like that, and I've seen this with all the people a lot of people I was in the military with that I'll talk with every once in a while, you just pick right back up where you were. So you always think that you can just pick right back up where you were.
I agree with that.
But then they're gone.
I agree with that completely.
And you're like, why didn't I do more? I mean, I went to New Orleans years ago to meet up with my team that I was stationed with in Germany. And we were all sitting there talking, and, we hadn't seen each other in years and years and years. And I had said that to one of my friends. I'm like, sorry that we didn't keep in contact and do all this stuff. And, we were all together. And he just looked at me and he said, man, it ain't been nothing but a minute. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, yeah, I guess. But that's always sustained me as saying, you know what, you can always pick right back up where you are, but you can't if they're gone. I
totally agree with that. I mean, I was lucky enough to reconnect with someone from England, again, who I knew that was, we were all up-and-comers. And now he's a doctor. He got his doctorates. And I always knew him as Chunk. That was his nickname. But now he's Dr. So-and-so.
Dr. Chunk.
No.
Goonies.
No, he's a high-ranking official. So whenever I think of seeing him, I'm like, in the setting that he is, I would show him the deep respect, but I would also, how you doing, Chunk? Right? And I'm like, okay, yeah. And he would say, hey, it is, like you said, ain't been nothing but a minute, right?
You'd be like, and that's Dr. Chunk to you.
Yeah, exactly. I'm pretty sure he would say that, right? And you're always looking back. You're always looking back and saying, what if? So, yeah, I agree with you. I really do.
All right. Well, not meaning to depress everybody, but hey, just something to think about.
Of course.
All right. Well, that's it for me, the Beaveman. It's a beautiful evening here in Michigan. And we're outside. So like I said, if you hear sounds of the outdoors, it's not a soundtrack. We're actually outside. And, yeah. Adios, muchfuckos.
And from the Ronz, hey.
Bye from the Swan.
Neither one of you actually have
I
to do
do.
that.
But why do you get to do
Yeah,
it?
why do you get to do it?
Beaveman.
Yeah,
No
but
one
don't-
cares.
Well, I
Oh,
care.
no, everybody cares.
Oh, everybody
because
cares.
it's my motherfucking podcast.
It is. It is.
And with that.
Adios, muchfuckos.
You can't say that.
And with that, go fuck yourself, Swan. Go fuck yourself.